The splendid structure of the San Nicola Stadium in Bari is a monument to the glamour and the wealth in Italian football. David Platt was purchased from England's Aston Villa, part of an investment of £17 million by Bari to create a team as stylish as the setting they play in. As the 1991-92 Italian season drew nearer, there was great expectation here for the battles ahead. But Bari were not alone in those feelings. They were joined in the top division by their neighbours from the south of Italy, Foggia, who'd been promoted as second division champions. Also back in the big time were Ascoli, Cremonese and Verona, who'd spent only one season out of the limelight. Two northern clubs with strong championship credentials had changed coaches. Fabio Capello was the successor to Arrigo Sacchi at Milan, a hard act to follow, but with huge finances at the club's disposal. Milan's recent record shining with honours, but the league trophy, won a record 22 times by Juventus, hadn't been to Turin since 1986. Giovanni Trapattoni, their guru then, and for 5 title triumphs prior to that, was persuaded to return from Inter. Trapattoni, a great coach undoubtedly, and perhaps a lucky charm as well.
And now is the new situation, is the new team, and for me is the good work. I hope to win again something.
Everybody expects you to win in Turin. They expect you to be the Messiah.
Yes, but I am very busy to this situation because all the people, all the supporters of Juventus, they want to win. It's no easy win.
It wasn't easy against Fiorentina on the first day of the season, but it was a win for Juventus. De Agostini. Yes! The power in the air of Casiraghi brings Juventus their first goal of the season. With less than 3 minutes to go to half-time. And there had been the signs earlier in the half that that could be the route. And that's the way it's turned out. Pierluigi Casiraghi's power in the air was to prove potent again for Juventus in their next home game, an early head-to-head with Milan. Both sides at this stage had played 2, won 2. Julio Cesar was guided down to Schillaci, and Baggio, who had the header in the first place, keeps the ball in play, and Casiraghi! A goal for Juventus. This is Fuser. And back it has to go again. Passotti drives it in this time. Serena gets ahead to it. Maldini. This is Albertini. Oh, a goal! A deflection, an own goal. Carrera. This lucky moment for Milan, the misfortune of Massimo Carrera, would nag away at Juventus all season long. Milan, seconds away from defeat, went from strength to strength in the opening weeks, unlike their local rivals, Inter. Verona's Piubelli pushing Alessandro Bianchi, and then Lothar Matthäus missing out from the first of 4 penalties for Inter on a most unusual afternoon. Next, it was Tomassi tripping Nicola Berti. Andy Bremer had been efficient enough to win the World Cup for West Germany from the spot, but he couldn't beat Gregori, though Desideri did follow up to give Inter the lead. In the second half, the progress of Jürgen Klinsmann rudely interrupted. Verona's defending far from valiant. Penalty number 3, failure number 3, Massimo Ciocci. More panic from Piubelli. Inter handed a 4th chance. This time, Desideri did the necessary, just. The whole episode was to become symbolic of a sorry season. 3 days later, Inter also lacked inspiration in the first match of their defence of the UEFA Cup. The theatrically named Marlon Brandão with the first goal for Boa Vista of Portugal. Barney bagged the second in a 2-1 win. The return leg ended goalless. The holders were out. And back in Italy, Inter were really put to the sword by Sampdoria, the reigning champions. And it's Mancini who's raced through. Mancini's pass, and Lombardo in behind Inter. Lombardo again, and still Lombardo! No offside. And is it going to be number 3 for Vialli? The goal is open. And Inter have been caught out again. Silas, options right and left, it's Lombardo! A fantastic finale. Sampdoria touching heights that they would not reach again in the league all season. Their priority is the European Cup. After 5 rounds of the championship, Juventus on top, like Milan, still unbeaten. But for their next game at Genoa, Roberto Baggio was out with injury. Turin leading the break. Oh, lovely play from Juventus. On from Marocchi. Casiraghi with a shot, beaten out by Braglia. Here's Alessio. Penalty! A penalty to Juventus. And without Baggio, it's going to be his replacement, Carini, to take it. Without any trace of nerves, the 21-year-old. The leaders take the lead. Fiorin making the pass possible. Caricola. It's a poor ball by Julio Cesar. And the play goes on. Aguilera scores! Neat play from Aguilera. He wants to be involved at the free kick, indeed takes it to Bortolazzi. He tries the shot, it's stiffing! Oh, an astonishing goal for Genoa! Mario Bortolazzi! Juventus beaten by a brilliant goal, a defeat they could ill afford on a ground where they would lose again in December to Sampdoria. By then, Genoa were giving of their best in the UEFA Cup, their first campaign in Europe. Deprived of such distractions, Milan were starting to dominate domestically. Pullet. Van Basten. Cracks are appearing at the back for Roma, and they're getting wider and wider. Pullet's cross. Massaro this time, no. Van Basten this time, yes. It had to come. Rijkaard. Well, it does well to get the cross in. The goalkeeper stranded, and Massaro got to it. Daniele Massaro. Pull it again. Not dwelling on the immediate past. Really playing like an old-fashioned right winger, Massaro. And Rijkaard only just. It is 3-0 and Rijkaard is the scorer. It's another free kick earned by Di Mauro. Pellegrini. Oh, and Milan look at the linesman, Andrea Carnevale. Kept his nerve. Tassotti's cross won't reach Rijkaard this time. Oh! An amazing goal for Milan, and it's 4-1. Watching his old club's classical play that day was Arrigo Sacchi in a new role. He had been appointed coach to the national team. Change required because of Italy's inability to qualify for the finals of the European Championships under Azeglio Vicini, following the failure to win the World Cup on home terrain. Saki's start was not spectacular. Norway's Jakobsen put Italy behind in Genoa. There were only 7 minutes remaining when substitute Ruggiero Rizzitelli of Roma spared some of the blushes. Rizzitelli reacting well to a cross from Fernando De Napoli. By now, Milan had moved up to the head of the table. Juventus were to get used to second place, but they did come out on top in an explosive Turin derby. High pressure here, a great deal at stake, a very fast pace in the opening 10 minutes. Alessio, Rossi can't prevent the cross coming in, and a terrific header. That's the threat that Juventus can produce, and Casiraghi came in most emphatically. Bruno believes that Casiraghi... Oh! He's off! Casiraghi went down in a manner in which you felt he might be trying to influence the referee. Bruno blocked off his run. And what happened has been sensational, and now look at this. Bruno wants to take the law into his own hands, and quite sensibly Lentini and Crevero restraining him. Pasquale Bruno, who played for Juventus from 1987 to 1990, and clearly fired up for this fixture, too fired up. Torino, in the recent past, don't have the tradition of Juventus, of course, but if you go back to the 1940s, they were the team in Italy. Oh, now it looked to me as though Pollicano kicked out. And I wonder whether both players have got to go. Certainly Pollicano is off. And Torino are down to 9 men. Explosion upon explosion here. And it was Casiraghi who went in and was kicked in the face. They've been looking for him. They found him. While Juventus were winning that battle, the shift in the balance of power from the previous season was already apparent, as Sampdoria at home were shrugged aside by Milan.
Van Basten playing it back in. Cerezo under pressure. Now Ivani. The little ball again for Van Basten. And it goes towards Hullet, and it's a goal! Hullet has scored! A tremendous header! Milan in front! Baresi. Hullet is everywhere on the field now, it seems. The little ball for Van Basten, back it goes to Hullet! It's another goal! The genius strikes again.
Ruud Hullet, just one component in a tremendous team, which a week later confronted the old enemy, Inter. Hullet for Massaro and Van Basten. Berti and Klinsmann. Milan are stunned. Klinsmann is thrilled. And Zenga goes to join in the delight. They can't believe their luck. They're level. Deep into his 12th league match, this was Jurgen Klinsmann's first goal of the season. A prisoner of Inter's cautious style and his own doubts about the direction of his life. Another German, Thomas Doll, offered a greater sense of purpose. Lazio bought him when Paul Gascoigne couldn't take up their offer because of injury. Dol did enough to become more than just a stopgap. Atalanta brought in Carlos Bianchesi, whose goal here helped them to send Genoa to their first home defeat for 23 months. Bianchesi, known in his native Brazil as Careca III. Fiorentina purchased Gabriel Batistuta on the strength of his goals for Argentina in the 1991 Copa America. He soon looked at home in Italy. This hat-trick, part of an impressive season's tally of 13 goals, came away to Foggia. Batistuta wasn't the only forward to find Foggia a soft touch. But the newly promoted club produced a cavalier approach, which made them great fun to follow. Their defending was disastrous. Here in Naples, they were quickly 2 goals down. But Giuseppe Signori scored for Foggia, who always kept on attacking whatever the errors at their own end. After Careca had claimed his second, Foggia fought back again. Igor Shalimov, who was secured at a relative snip from the then Soviet Union, made it 3-2. Signori's second goal earned the draw. The free spirits of the First Division gave us all such great entertainment. After 13 years in the wilderness, Foggia came back with a flourish. Only Milan outscored them. They did fall at San Siro 2 weeks after Milan began 1992 with this masterclass.
Pulsating atmosphere abounds in this famous stadium as Napoli kick off, attacking the goal to our left. And this latest confrontation between two clubs who've become such fierce rivals down the years. As Milan force a corner right from the off. Milan, of course, champions back in '88, Napoli league winners in '87, and again in '90, and something has to give today with these two teams in such splendid form. And what a start then. Maldini has headed Milan in front inside the first minute. A sensational start. Donadoni. Here's Van Basten now. Rijkaard's got ahead of him. This is Rijkaard, and that's the second goal. Magnificent finish from Rijkaard. Ivani taking the free kick. Headed back was from Maldini, and another goal. Massaro makes it 3. This is Donadoni. He's got Massaro in the middle, and Ivani. Still Donadoni! Oh, what a goal! Fantastic shot from Donadoni. And you'll not see a cleaner strike than that anywhere in world football. And there's the goal! That's it.
comes Signori, and Rossi having to deal with a chance that really shouldn't have materialised. No time to dwell on that. Bullets away, and down he goes. So Mancini has to face Marco van Basten. This to give Milan the lead. Absolutely no doubt. But Foggia, who were giving Milan something of a taste of their own medicine in the way they play, and certainly enjoying a fair share of the spoils in midfield, now have to face Hullet in full cry. Shalamov's run with him, and here comes Van Basten. Brilliant. It seemed to me that it was a delayed fall by Kolivanov. He's only made a handful of appearances since coming from Dynamo Moscow. Signori, oh, and here's Shalimov. Foggia are back in the match. And Simone, what an entrance. Oh, it's got to be another penalty. And it's Consagra again. Marco van Basten is on a hat-trick, and this should mean the match for Milan. As with everything that he does, it's of the highest order, anticipating a fling to one side for the goalkeeper and just clipping the ball over the dive. 3 for Milan, and a hat-trick for the great Van Basten. Milan still unstoppable, setting even higher standards. On the same day that they fought off Foggia, this push by Paganin of Inter on Claudio Caniggia was to have consequences more lasting than the penalty it produced, which was put away by Bianchesi. Corrado Orico, Trapattoni's successor for less than half a season, resigned.
In primi ringraziamenti vanno ai giocatori dell'Inter, in secondo a Pellegrini, e in terzo al pubblico dell'Inter tutto.
He was replaced by Luis Suarez, an Inter star of the 60s, more recently the manager of Spain. At the halfway mark, Inter's hopes were in tatters, down in 9th place. Trapattoni had kept Juventus within 3 points of the still unbeaten Milan, but they were already wondering how they were going to close that gap. Fiorentina had fired their Brazilian coach Lazzaroni early in the season. Gigi Radice was steadying the ship. But when the second half of the season started at the end of January, the visit of Juventus assumed great importance in Florence.
So plenty of determination being shown here by Fiorentina in the early stages. In by Orlando. And the header, and there's no flag, is there? The goal's been given. Batistuta. But unless they can turn it round now, Juventus are heading for defeat. We're into injury time. They've got players committed upfield now of Juventus, and they might just get caught out. Branca, Tacconi's lost it, and it's there this time. Branca has scored, and there's no dispute about this one.
That 2-0 defeat put another dent in the structure of Juventus, which had been designed to bring back their past glories. Fiorentina flowered often enough after that to pull clear of relegation. Not so Ascoli, who all too soon revealed that their return would be brief. Teenager Fiorenzo Dianzara did contribute enough encouraging moments to suggest that his future was brighter than that of the club. Cremonese were also unable to cope at this higher level despite their gallant goalkeeper Michelangelo Rampula, whose header made history. Rampula, the first goal-scoring goalkeeper in Italy's first division. The opposition, Atalanta. 2 weeks later, Rampula gave a reminder that he is talented at his usual trade, first from Stojkovic and then from Magrin, 2 terrific penalty saves against Verona. Cagliari produced a carbon copy of their previous season, slow to start, then blossoming in the spring to save themselves. Daniel Fonseca with 2 goals here against Fiorentina. Fonseca again their most forceful forward. If he'd stayed fit, the move to safety would have happened earlier. Bari's buying couldn't legislate for bad luck. Gianpaolo broke a leg in September, the Brazilian out for the rest of the season. David Platt shouldered the extra responsibility manfully as captain and as top scorer with 11 goals. Bari was stuck in the bottom 4, but Platt wasn't going down with his ship. His valiant efforts earned him a transfer to a top club, Juventus. The Juventus of this season had dropped to 5 points behind Milan after 19 games. That was the context for the big confrontation. The setting San Siro, a win for Milan, and the title race would effectively be over.
Here's Ivani. Massaro and Van Basten waiting in the centre, making their move now. Hullit's coming in as well. Oh, and Van Basten's got a great chance! And Milan have scored! Baggio, now Gallia. Baggio trying to make another angle, and Gallia likewise. And Casiraghi! A wonderful equaliser!
Pierluigi Casiraghi keeping the Juventus hopes just flickering with life. Marco van Basten's goal in that match came in the midst of a masterful spell. 3 hat-tricks in 5 games, a phenomenal purple patch. This 3-goal haul at home to Atalanta, following that hat-trick at Foggia's expense and another in Sardinia against Cagliari. Van Basten also recorded his 100th goal for Milan against Bari with that free kick, which he admitted gave him extra pleasure. The first Baggio-style attempt from him in Italy. It made Marco van Basten the 6th Milan Centurion. Sweden's Nordhall way out ahead of the great Gianni Ribera, and then Altafini from Brazil. Now the main talk was of whether Milan would ever lose. One potential pitfall came at Parma, where they had been beaten the previous season.
Now Ossio, he's got Melli making an interesting run, and Melli's got goal side again, and this time he's put it away! The longer it goes on, with them 1-0 down, the more desperate their cause will become, of course, but a fair way to go yet. Well headed down that. Here's Simone on the turn, and Simone has scored! Would you believe it? The substitute, with his very first touch of the ball, has equalised for Milan. Bullet just keeps us in. Oh, lovely change of pace. Bullet again. Here's Simone, and he scored again! What a day for the substitute a foul on Van Basten, says the referee. Van Basten takes it quickly. Simone's away here. There could be things on here. Rijkaard's waiting in the middle, and Groen puts it into his own net. And that surely settles it.
10 games to go. Milan still clear, still unconquered. Genoa had been the capital city of the Italian game a year earlier. Now both its major clubs had eyes mostly for Europe. Sampdoria 6th, Genoa 8th in the league. But that didn't stop the drama of the derby.
A goal! Signorini at the near post. And it's in now. Tatanets. Here goes Bortolazzi, and Genoa are back in front. Here's Dario Bonetti. Sampdoria seeking a second equaliser. Oh, they've got it! From Mancini.
Genoa's greatest hour came in England in the quarter-final of the UEFA Cup second leg. Already 2 goals to the good against Liverpool. Carlos Aguilera ended any fears of failure in the intimidating atmosphere of Anfield. Aguilera struck again in the second half, and Genoa strode into the semi-final 4-1 on aggregate. Their joy was heightened by the surprise of success against a European giant of the past. Another awaited in the semi-final, Ajax, who were fully prepared for the challenge and could hardly have fashioned a better beginning to the tie.
John van Schip getting the cross in, and Pedersen. An amazing start for Ajax in the first minute. Oh, and he's in again, Stefan Pedersen. And here's Roy, it's in the net now. Winter thought he'd scored, Brian Roy has. Waterloo got it onto his right foot, and Aguilera followed in. Menzo's mistake. 17 minutes to go. Genoa see a glimmer of hope. Aguilera! They're claiming a goal. Aguilera, yet again. Bergkamp. Genoa trying to hunt him down in a pack. It's Winter. Oh, and Ajax, who started the game sensationally, have provided a real flourish in their finish as well.
Genoa managed to draw in the second leg, but their adventure was over. Meanwhile, Sampdoria were successful against the holders of the European Cup, Red Star Belgrade. 1-1, and then this own goal by Vasiljevic under pressure from Vialli. Then Mancini rounded off a 3-1 victory. It virtually assured Sampdoria of a place in the European Cup final. But there they were beaten narrowly by Barcelona after extra time. With Vialli leaving for Juventus, Boskov for Roma, it was the end of an era for Sampdoria. Real Madrid stood between Torino and a European final in the UEFA Cup. The Spanish club 2-1 up from the first leg of the semi-final.
Martin Vazquez. Now Musi. It's over Casagrande, and there'll be plenty of that tonight. Claims for penalties. Oh, it's a goal! An own goal! Ricardo Rocha! Schifo. They're stretching Real Madrid cleverly, though. Here's Lentini. On he goes. Brilliant work from Lentini. Yes, Fusi. The goal that had to come, and it's come for Torino. Luca Fusi.
Torino's first European final and the chance against Ajax to avenge their semi-final success over Genoa, the first leg in Turin.
Torino building once more, trying to perforate this Ajax defence. Musi. Stefan Pedersen against Marchegiani.
Those two away goals by Ajax, just too much for Torino in the second leg, which was a thrilling goalless draw. Back in the league, Torino were exerting an influence on the destiny of the championship.
Lentini, as Juventus were looking for a penalty. They're forced back here by Martin Vasquez, and Torino have scored. It's Casagrande. Lentini. Oh, Tacconi let it run. Has it stayed in play? I'm not so sure. The linesman has kept his flag down, so it has to all intents and purposes. Martin Vasquez pushed out, and Casagrande right on the spot again.
Walter Casagrande's first season with Torino after 4 years at Ascoli ended much better than it had begun. The highly strung Brazilian striker had found his form in the UEFA Cup and carried it on in the league. Torino had the satisfaction not only of victory, but of ruining what was left of the Juventus hopes for the championship. Milan was still unwaveringly on course, and even a derby couldn't disrupt that.
Tassotti. Now Fusa. Massaro in the middle. Massaro! Oh, they snatched it! In the closing seconds, cruel for Inter. Marvellous for Milan.
Inter had been without Lothar Matthäus, who would also miss the European Championships with a damaged knee. Next to take on Inter, ironically, were Juventus, with absolutely no margin for error. Belatedly, they produced their best display of the season.
Schillaci. And two Inter players collided. It's Di Canio against Bergami. Oh, and he's brought him down. And that has been on the cards. Senga trying to say it happened outside the area. Well, here we go. It's Baggio who wins. So Juventus here trying to break the mould of tradition. Baggio, and they're going about it the right way. They've picked a more attack-minded side, and they're playing to their strengths. Baggio, Casiraghi, brilliant, absolutely perfect. Play that one again and again. Lupi, here's Reuter. And Baggio. Schillaci! They've cut away through again. 3-0 to Juventus. Well, Inter really playing for their pride now. Fontelan! Goal!
Fontelan's header, 3-1 to Juventus. But with 3 games to go, Milan now needed just one more point to make sure of their 12th Italian championship. The first chance to clinch it came in Naples.
Van Basten. Oh, now then for Rijkaard. Is this the first goal? It is, in the most emphatic fashion, too. Rijkaard, the scorer. And Napoli were torn apart then. Albertini. Maldini having to chase. Corradini has got with him, and Maldini's got away, and then was pulled back. And it's a penalty. A clear case. Maldini was yanked back then by Corradini. Van Basten against Galli, and he saved it. Oh, superb reflex save by Galli, who punches the air in delight. And well, he might. That was a cracking stop. Zola once more. Taking the corner short this time. This is Mauro. They've stayed onside, and it's there. Locker's got it.
The draw made mathematical what had been universally recognised several weeks earlier, even by Juventus. Milan's methods were being analysed by top clubs from all over the world. No secret to their splendour, Fabio Capello, like Arrigo Sacchi before him, had come up with an irresistible combination. Individual skills harnessed to total commitment from the team. Milan was a city of celebration.
I think we play always to have the initiative, to score goals, never allow to have the initiative to your opponent, you know. And of course also there's a good harmony in this group, you know. There are a lot of players. We have, I think, 22 players, but no one is feeling better than the other one. So I think that is the secret of Milan.
Massaro and Van Basten. Well, let's cross. Massaro this time, no. Van Basten this time, yes.
Donadoni. Here's Van Basten now. Rijkaard's got ahead of him. This is Rijkaard.
Keeps us in. Oh, lovely change of pace. Pull it again. It's Simone, and he scored again.
It's knocked down well. Oh, and a brilliant goal by Simone from Van Basten's header.
Van Basten. Oh, now then for Rijkaard. Is this the first goal? It is, in the most emphatic fashion too.
Still one more target for Milan, to become the first Italian champions to go through the entire season undefeated. That by no means a formality at Foggia on the final day.
Pull it again. Did very well to get his cross in. And it's produced a goal for Maldini. Now Baiano, trying to tease Marco Van Basten. Great play by Baiano. Oh, and surely this time Signori Van Basten. Roger trying to hold a line of defenders. Oh! They left it to the goalkeeper, and Hullet simply belted the ball past him. So, Milan scored first, then we're 2-1 down. Now they're level again and looking especially capable of regaining their lead. Van Basten, there you are, there you are. Massaro, Simone's got time to turn. Oh, and it's just cruelly been deflected in. And Simone and Foggia are left with absolutely no answer. Van Basten. Ooh, Mancini has to read the spin. He's stranded. Van Basten, Simone. It's chaos at the back. Donadoni really going for the heart of Foggia. Massaro is there. Who's he going to tee it up for? It's Van Basten. It is 7. The problem here is not beating the opposition, it's beating the fans. Well, Fusa beating the opposition is a piece of cake.
8 goals for Milan and a championship won by 8 points. Praise too for Parma, who lifted the Italian Cup for the first time. Juventus coming second in that competition as well. They had to settle for UEFA Cup qualification along with Torino, Napoli and Roma. Ascoli, Cremonese, Verona and Bari cut well adrift at the bottom of the table, all relegated. Genoa lost their last 6 games as Cagliari confirmed their improvement by climbing above them on goal difference. Of the top 7 scorers, only 2 Italians, Roberto Baggio and Ciccio Baiano. Uruguay, Germany, Argentina and Brazil all represented here, along with Holland, of course, Marco van Basten out on his own. So many memories from a season in which Milan were in a class of their own.
And here comes Van Basten. Brilliant. The shot is dipping! And Katuragi! For Massaro and Van Basten.